Clearly, the defense started out better than the offense. Proud that they responded, and likewise, the fact that the defense found a way to create some turnovers at the end. So I really can't win today. I'm going to be mad at somebody either way. Didn't like the turnovers, but just the energy was good. Kids have been phenomenal all spring. We're pushing them, asking a lot of them, but they're just coming back every day with great attitude. So I'm really pleased. Got out of it, I think, pretty healthy. I don't really think we had any bumps and bruises that were major, which is another big plus today. And with 7 linemen, to get the day we got today without causing any other issues, I was pretty pleased. So a lot to teach off of, a lot of work left to do. Summer's going to be huge for us, fall camp. But, I like the team. We're going to be competitive, and who knows what we can get done over the summer, and maybe some additions to the group and just some late additions in recruiting, and who knows what this group's capable of.
Coach, is the offensive line, has that happened during the camp, or have that been a problem all camp of having?
Well, we went in with a couple guys that were hurt to begin with, and then we just strangely the last week have had a few in that position that we're not able to go today. Nothing that's going to be lingering into the fall, but enough to keep us really limited today. Made it tough, but man, they fought through, and we got all 7 through today. They all made it, none of them went down. So that was kind of holding your breath, but it was a plus.
Coach, it seems like Andrew and Cooper are kind of like your 2 main QBs. What did you think of the way they played today?
Well, I don't like turnovers, and I don't know who threw them, but beyond that, good. Made some plays. I thought Peasley did a good job of extending plays and creating a couple big. The one that DT scored on was him creating, and that's the thing he does really well. Bonner's been out all spring with a broken bone in his foot. Would have loved to have seen him get reps with this group, but they've been really valuable reps for that quarterback room. Competition's still out there. We still got a lot of work to do at that position, but I do think they've both improved through the course of the spring and have a good grasp of what we're wanting to do in this offense.
Coach, you got a lot of running backs out there, and pretty much all of them seem to have some pretty good moments. How tight do you expect that running back depth chart to be?
I think it's going to be really tight. I can see where we'll play a lot of guys if we can get the amount of reps that we'd like to get, which means we're moving the chains and getting first downs. It could take several. It's not going to be just a one-man show. We're just not. I don't think we're that room, and I don't think this style of offense allows for that to be the case. Been really pleased of getting productive, efficient reps from really everybody in the room. And it seems to be, it doesn't matter which one you put out there. Within the offense, they're all being fairly efficient. They can block, they can catch the ball, and they finish forward. And that allows us to stay ahead of the chain. So I'm really pleased with that group.
Both this scrimmage and the first one, there were a lot of defensive guys, potential impact guys on the sidelines. It seems like most of them are walking around. How confident, hopeful are you that everyone's going to be good to go for summer camp?
Well, I feel great. We really have had the surgeries that were needed to get guys repaired were done early. All those guys should be back for summer work. I don't expect any of the injuries that we've had over the course of the spring to linger into fall camp. I think everybody should be back full speed. Now, we need to have a good summer, a safe summer in training, and don't create any other issues. But to get through, spring ball with as much banging as we did, and to not tell you we lost somebody for the season is a blessing, because that does not always happen.
Coach Vaughn, and Carter, they making some big plays on defense. Other guys that stood out to you and how they played defensively?
I think the defensive line is really taking some big steps. We didn't get a whole lot of pressure the first couple weeks. Last week, they've started to show up. Coach Banda and the crew are starting to utilize those with more movement and kind of turn them loose. And if it was, live quarterbacks today, they probably would have had another couple sacks. They're definitely in the vicinity. But I think they're doing the same thing we're kind of doing at running back. They're playing a lot of guys, throwing a lot of guys at the problem. I think collectively the energy and the attitude is phenomenal. And that'll give us a chance. If we'll play harder than the opponent on that side and chase the ball, it'll give us a chance.
Can you talk a little bit about just having spring football where these guys were shut down in their second practice last year and what that's done to the mentality of everybody, even in their work now that you've seen during spring?
Yeah, it's hard to even kind of look back and realize this time last year, everybody was at home and nobody was working. So this has been really big to get a full training cycle, to get a full spring, to be able to work with these guys every day. I think that's one of the reasons that there's just a huge energy in the meeting room and in the locker room and on the field. And you can see it when you come to practice. They're having a great time. I think they appreciate what we're getting to do because it was taken away from them a year ago.
So what will the plan be then now? What do you do? What is your summer plan for this team?
Well, we got finals and stuff coming up here the next couple of weeks, so it'll be pretty limited. NCAA says we got to give them a little break, so we're going to do that in the month of May. Come June 1st, they'll be here full time, and we'll be working. Coach Jackson he'll dial it up a little bit. We've acclimated them. We're past the acclimatization. Now we're get after them stage, and the summer's huge. Lift, run, 4 days a week. Meetings when they allow. These guys will practice a couple days a week on their own. We call them player run practices. We'll find out in August, what kind of team we really have, because you kind of turn the keys over to them in the summer. It'll be challenging. Coach Jackson will find out who really loves ball and who doesn't over the course of the summer.
And then the other thing I was going to ask you is they're starting to recruit in person again in June, or at least they kind of talked about that. So that changes things, but already we're seeing quite a few guys that are saying they're committed to you guys. So you've been doing a lot of work, it sounds like, before that anyhow. But can you talk about what that's going to mean to you guys?
Well, recruiting is 24/7 year-round. So we've been doing everything we could virtually. The month of June is going to be huge to get guys on campus. Virtually is one thing, but spending time in a room with a guy and looking at people face-to-face and getting to meet family, we will expect to have people on campus pretty much every day in the month of June. We'll have some camps as well. We'll be announcing those pretty soon. But that's where I think the bulk of recruiting is done. We've got 6 commits right now, and I think it's a great start. But we've still got 3/4 of the class left to field, and I would expect a lot of that to be done during the course of June.
Coach, the press release for this event said that fans had to wear masks in the stands, and it seemed like a lot of them either weren't wearing any or had them on incorrectly.
Yeah.
You're an influential voice in the athletic department. What's your message just for that going forward?
Obviously some of the restrictions are changing, and we're hoping that they change more as the vaccine more and more people are being vaccinated and seeing the numbers change across the country. It's hard to control what happens in the stands. People got to do what they feel comfortable with. Down here, we're just trying to keep distancing, keep masks on, space, and try to be as smart as we can. We've been testing every week, and we virtually had 0 positives for well over a month. So I think what we've been doing and I think the dynamic of the virus itself and what people are doing in the community has worked to get us through to this point. So I'm hoping to have a full stadium in the fall, and I'm hoping people don't have to worry about it, to be honest with you. But we'll just see how it progresses.
Hey, Coach, in the process of implementing the new offense, have there been any players that have risen this spring as leaders and kind of carrying it forward?
Yeah, I think you could ask Coach Tuck a little bit more specifically, but it's clear to see. DT has been probably maybe one of the best recruits we made was getting him to stay put. I think there's some subtle leadership happening up front on the O-line. Just that group kind of moves the offense. If that group's playing collectively with energy and playing well, it gets you going. I think there's an opportunity for a lot of guys to really emerge over the summer now that they've got a good foundation in what we're doing. But I've been pleased with that group's resiliency. Bad day, come back, have a good day the next day. Bad first, 20 minutes of this, and then they rebound, start making plays. And to me, there's some guys that are going to step up. We've got some really good players that aren't practicing too, that have the ability to step into those roles over the summer.
Speaking about rebounding, your defense seemed to do that as well. They
Yeah.
were up early, fell behind. What did you think of just the feistiness and the competitiveness of that side of the ball?
Yeah, I was pleased. That's something you can't let one drive or one big play get you down. We talked about it in the meeting room before we came out. There's going to be give and take. You got to respond, get back up off the turf and step back into the next punch and the next play, and they did that. Created 2 turnovers, got themselves right back into the game in terms of the score. It's funny, we've been doing this scoring system for the last 5-6 years, and it always comes down to the last drive. It just inevitably it comes down to the last drive. Had the defense got to stop, they would have gotten 3 points and they'd have won. Offense got to score, and it won the game for them. So we wanted it to be competitive, and nobody quitting made that possible.
Today I think the defense played pretty great. We was flying around to the ball. A few missed tackles we got to clean up on, but overall I think it was hats to the ball today.
Questions? So you mentioned kind of missed tackles. That was kind of a thing last year, a lot of frustration with not being able to tackle as well. How much have you guys been able to work on in the spring in terms of fixing that for this upcoming year?
We tackle every day, literally. It get a little, you can't say boring, but it get boring some days, but we tackle every single day. And today it showed we only had a few missed tackles, so I feel like we progressed since last season.
Can you talk about how you feel at this point, going through all of spring after last year got shut down as fast as it did? How much different that changes your mental and physical towards football?
I feel like our coaches came in and did a really good job of getting us back pumped up, or getting us back to the old Aggie way of, believing in ourselves and, getting that toughness back. Coach Jackson definitely brought in a lot of swagger and just toughness, and just he going to get on you.
What did you think of the feistiness and the competitiveness of the defense that the defense showed today?
It's really big. This year we got a lot of new faces that's bringing a lot more energy than past. Not saying anything bad, but we had a couple holes to fill, and I feel like they came in and stepped up and really brought some intensity back to those positions.
Are you playing different safety than you played before?
Right now I'm playing nickel and both rover and free safety.
Okay. I say free it a little bit more, back away from.
Yes, sir.
You were always tackling.
Yes, sir.
The time before. So.
With the new coaching staff, do you feel like your leadership role has grown just a bit too as well?
Yes, sir. Coach Bond do a great job of making me become a more vocal leader. I like to lead with my play. I do a good job of leading my young players, but once they come into the game, I'm not a person that's just going to yell at you or anything, but he wanted me to be a person to start getting on people and letting them know, we need you. So he wanted me to become just a better leader.
I mean, how much better do you feel? It just seems like there's more depth defensively this year. How do you feel that's a fair statement?
Yes, sir. Like I said, we got a lot of positions that we needed from this past season that got filled, and they came in with a lot of juice, and it's looking real nice. So I'm pretty excited for this upcoming fall.
You guys, your defense almost came all the way back from being down.
Mm-hmm.
How long do those bragging rights of the offense last, and how are you guys gonna get them back, maybe?
Every day is literally a battle with the offense. Some days it's defense, some days it's offense, some days it's offense in a row, some days it's defense in a couple days in a row. But we usually don't really get mad about it because, we have our days, they have theirs. But today was a big competition day, so I feel like both sides competed very well.
I think today in the spring game, the offense started a little slow. The coaches kept trying to pick us up and get the tempo going. We had a few big plays and kind of just took off from there. I think we finished really well. Obviously, the last drive, there's a lot of energy to win the day. So all around, I thought it went pretty good. All the quarterbacks did pretty well. And then on Monday, we'll come in and evaluate what we did and get better. So.
Andrew, were you guys in the adjustment period of kind of getting this offense faster than it was a season ago?
What was your question?
Were you guys in the adjustment process in terms of adjusting to an offense that's quicker than a season ago?
It's just all about, effort and attitude, really. To play fast, you just got to, know your assignment all the time. It should be, instant, and then just getting on the ball and going. So, last year was more we kind of huddled up and, kind of schemed. This year we're playing fast, so that's really it.
Is the style different, though, really, Andrew, of how you play offense?
Yeah, we take a lot more shots and a lot more RPO type play. Other than that, it's just football, outside block your guy, run it, pass it. So
nice to have DT back.
Yeah, he balled out today. He's pretty fast, so it's good to have a guy like that to, always just rely on, to have speed and good hands. He did really well, I thought, today. And for our 7 linemen we had, I thought they played really, really well. My biggest thing is I didn't hear them complain one time. I asked, you good, you tired? Nope. They're like, let's get this rolling. So that was probably the best thing about today.
And Andrew, obviously you've had basically a full spring camp. Last year you had 2 practices. How much further along do you feel you guys are at this point than you were a year ago?
I mean, a lot further, obviously. Everything with COVID was kind of tough, canceled. Not really football, but like life for everyone was a little tough. So just kind of getting back into the jump of things, school, in class, like in-person classes, being here with the team, having the locker room, being able to be around each other. It's all really good. So I feel like it's going really well.
Andrew, can you talk about there still will be a competition because Bonner hasn't been able to play in the spring? What do you expect of that in the summer and the development there?
As a quarterback rule is, there's only one guy that plays. So when we enter the QB room and out on the field every day, it's just about competing with yourself. How can you get better individually and root the other guy on? It's not about, I hope he does bad and I do good. That's not how it works. We're all really close. We all welcomed Bonner in. He's a great kid, great guy. And, it's going to be a good competition. The thing about the competition is it's just going to make everyone else around us better. So I'm looking forward to it.
So you've probably talked a lot, you guys, between you. What do you see? What does he have in his mind that makes him a good quarterback, do you think? Or what have you talked about?
I mean, he's been hurt. Man, we were competing against each other in racing and, team runs and stuff. But, he's smart with football. He helps me out when he sees something, and I'll point something out when I see something, and just kind of in the film room because that's all he can really do right now. He just started throwing this week, so, I think it'll go well.
So you kind of feel like, though, that it was my job last year. I get to keep the job or until somebody beats me out?
I think that if I focus on me and helping this team and how we want to win, that it should all work out.